What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. I know I got some shadows in the back. I don't got the other lights up. What I wanted to go over was, so you want to go solar. You know, it costs to go in solar. For me, I've been piecing together little by little, and I've been buying used solar panels. So things that I'm learning is I skimped on some of my stuff, my copper cables and all that. I got copper clad aluminum, but now I'm switching over to regular solid copper cables for my battery to my inverter. I got industrial used solar panels that are 5 years old but tested. They're still putting out the voltage that I need. So I'm only bringing in about maybe 1200 watts to 1400 watts of electricity to the house right now, and one 48-volt battery, which is 1 kilowatt hour. But what I want to talk to you about is, before you invest in solar, before you go solar, you know, there's all those solar programs where they can save you money, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to be connected to the grid with my solar. I want my solar to be my own stuff. Like this whole basement right now could be powered off of solar for what I got right here. They're all LED lights, so I could be just completely powered by solar for this level, and then I'll add on from there. But before you invest in that, before you invest in solar, you want to be off grid. I always call myself a wasteful American, and I did not realize I was using about 19 to 30, between 19 and 30, 10 kilowatt hour difference of power from my house. I mean, I was leaving lights on, leaving TVs on, leaving stuff plugged in. So I was using tons. I think one of the bills I'm going to show you is like 27 kilowatt hours of electricity. Now, a kilowatt hour of electricity is, you take 10 100-watt light bulbs, 10 100-watt light bulbs, and you leave them on for 1 hour. So that's 1 kilowatt hour. All right, big absorbers are them Keurigs. You like them Keurigs, right? 1300 watts for the first 3 minutes. Then if you leave it on and off during the day, it sporadically goes on and off. Irons are big things, hair dryers are big things, but you just use those intermittently. So you don't leave a hair dryer on for an hour, but if you leave a space heater on for an hour, that's 1000 to 1500 watts for that 1 hour. So this 1000-watt space heater on for 10 hours is 10 kilowatt hours, you know. So in the summertime, the bought air, the air conditioners use tons of kilowatt hours. But for me, I'm showing you my bill right here. This is my last month bill. I went from 19 to 27 kilowatt hours of usage. I'm down to 14.4 kilowatt hours of usage. So I took my kilowatt hours down by 10 kilowatt hours of being just a splurgeful, wasteful American. I had 5 fish tanks up and running. My fish tanks were costing me about $30 a month just on fish tanks. I have 2 125-gallon fish tanks on now, but the little bubble filters, you got to clean more, but they're more energy efficient. The heaters for a 125-gallon tank are 325-watt heaters. They go on and off intermittently. Now, we're in the basement, so they go on more in the basements because it's cooler than if it was upstairs. If you got a 55-gallon upstairs with a heater, that heat element is not going to go on as much, because your average heat in your house will be about 70 to 72 degrees, okay? So the same period last year, I was at 27.2 kilowatt hours. Same period last year, I was at 27.2 kilowatt hours, and now I'm down to 14.4 kilowatt hours. Last month, here's the kicker. Last month, I was over 30 kilowatt hours. You know why that is? Let me explain to you why that is. I was at 30 kilowatt hours because I didn't want to turn my boiler on, because I know with the pilot light on my boiler, this is about how big my pilot light on my boiler is. It's a big pilot light. I got a 1910 Chicago bungalow. That pilot light on the boiler, just when I flick it on, is costing me $50 a month for that pilot light on that boiler. We have radiator heat, so the pilot light, about that big, costs $50 a month to run. So my electric bill for the past 30 days is like $200, $230. I mean, my gas bill, $230 in gas bill. But here's the difference. The month before, I didn't want to turn my boiler on yet, so I put the energy efficient space heater in the living area upstairs. So I was at like 32 kilowatt hours of I doubled my electricity usage by turning that on. So in Illinois, it's cheaper to run natural gas than it is to run your electricity, unless you're on solar electricity. but I only got 3 strings of 48 volt panels. I don't even get my 4th string of 48 volt panels on yet. So realistically, to do something with electricity, look, when you're gonna have to look at, you're gonna have about 10-12 panels is what you're gonna look at. Now I bought my panels used, so I paid like $50 a panel. I got 230 watt panels stringed together for 48 volts, then 4 100 watt panels. So one thing people are telling me, which is true, is you should, and your strings, my 4 strings, I should have all like panels, all the same panels in the like sun, because whichever one is taking on the lowest sun is what's going to average out all your panels. So I'm going to get another 4 more panels to put on my carport, but I'm going to put 2 strings, 2 48 volt strings in parallel. So it's still 48 volts, but it's bringing in more amps and watts, okay? So I'm just saying that if you are looking into solar, if you are looking into solar electricity, if you want to save electricity on your energy bill, start looking into where you're wasting electricity. Because I literally took my electricity usage down by half, and I do not even notice the difference of taking it down by half. You know, my wife, she still uses the Keurig for her tea, but she shuts it off right after she makes her tea. Me, myself, I boil, instead of my coffee pot now, I boil hot water, because then I can pour it the next couple hours and I don't have to use any more energy. Just like that makes a huge difference. Trying to think, we switched all of our lights over to energy efficient lights. I got rid of 3 of my 5 fish tanks. That saves a lot on electricity. I'm trying to think what else we could do to save electricity. You know what I'm noticing uses a lot of electricity? I have the Ring system, which the little things are on batteries, so that's not bad. The plug-in for the Alexa, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Alexas that are constantly on. I got my fish tanks that are constantly on. We have a deep freezer. Think about it. The deep freezer, like, oh man, that deep freezer the deep freezer almost uses no electricity because you don't open and close it like a refrigerator. So therefore, it doesn't use a lot of electricity. It just goes on every little bit. The refrigerator downstairs, of course, uses less electricity than the refrigerator upstairs, because you open and close that refrigerator upstairs a lot more. So when they're saying you got this touchscreen and less refrigerator, that's pretty cool, because you can see what's in it and know to open it where you go. But if you're just got the kids like this, now I know why my dad used to yell at me, everything's coming in and out the refrigerator, so you're wasting electricity there. In some of the other rooms that I put, it was our laundry room downstairs, I put a motion light on the laundry room downstairs, because how many of you got kids? And the motion lights, they go on when you go in the room, and then they go off when you leave the room. So but there's a little bit of light back there, so it wouldn't go down all the way, so I'd have to cover the sensor up some. If I'm working in that room, I'd have to cover the sensor for it to go on. But other than that, when you walk out the room, you don't got to worry about shutting off. It shuts off by itself. In my laundry room upstairs now, I got the same thing. I had a motion light. It's the little switch. Instead of having it's a push button one with a motion sensor. I think I paid $30 for it. But you walk in the room, it turns the light on. You walk out the room, it turns the light off. Now, one thing that I do like with Amazon is they have the now the plugs, the little Amazon plugs. You could plug your stuff into those Amazon plugs, and then on the app it'll show you how much electricity usage each outlet is using. So I think that is very cool. And there's some bigger computer sensor wires that you could put on. You need an electrician to do it on each breaker on your electric box, and monitor which breaker is using the most power. Now, I seen ComEd is starting to go to by hour power, where you could pay per hour for your usage. I don't want to do that, but I do want to know how much electricity I'm using by hour, so I can closely monitor a little bit more. So my 14.4 kilowatt hours that I used is 47% down from last year. A 47% of wasteful electricity that I was using down. So I cut my electric bill in half just by using half the electricity. Well, the electricity price went up. Now, delivery was $31.51. The supply was $41. They charged me $41 to supply that electricity to me. And then the taxes were $7.02. So I just want to let you know, if you're looking at spending $10,000, $12,000, $25,000 for solar panels, start by looking at all your electricity usage you use. You're not going to get rid of your air conditioner, especially with this heat. But now they're starting to go with more efficient split system air conditioners that you can run with your solar panel, and in the summertime their heat pumps where they produce some heat down to like 32 degrees, then they don't work as good, then your main heater has to kick on. But in the future, our boiler's chugging along, is doing really good, but once I replace it, it's going to go to electric spark heater, or I'm not wasting the $50 a month on that big pilot light that I got over there, although it's like a 200,000 BTU boiler, and it really does warm the basement and warm the upstairs. But I wanted to just talk to you about people investing, like with I think the Illinois program, they have $25,000 solar systems, and that's even without the battery. The battery is gonna be a big chunk of your cost. So I built my own from used cells. I built my own battery. I'm probably gonna build 2 more batteries to piggyback it, but that's only still 3 kilowatts of power. And last month I used 14.4 kilowatts of power. So it's really not that much stored power. You want as much stored power to last you, say, a week. So if I'm using on average for the month 14.4 kilowatts of power. So wow, that's for the month. I thought that was for the day. Okay, I was right. Average daily use. 14.4 kilowatt hours. Okay, now what got me reading this is because when I started my solar venture, I'm going on my solar, other people in other countries use like 1.5 kilowatt hours, 3 kilowatt hours of electricity per day. And I realized I'm hitting 30 kilowatt hours a day. I am really sucking up electricity. So my goal is actually to get down to 10 kilowatt hours a day average electricity. I know in the summertime I can't meet that because when it's 100 degrees out there, I got to put on my air conditioners. I got a DIY project over there that I wanted to put a pump underground to cool the water and come up to a radiator and blow that in the house. That's a whole other DIY project to do. But I just wanted to tell you, if you're looking at solar, these $25,000 systems that they're going to go put up or whatever, if you got land, you could build your system with used panels to start. And I was there's a guy that I was watching yesterday, I can't think of his name for me, but he's running a 3,000 watt system. So I got a 3,000 watt grow watt, same system, and he's running 12 panels to his 3,000 watt system. He got semi batteries that he got connected with his inverters, and his whole system to power his whole house, but granted it's only 3,000 watts, is cost him $5,000. So right now I'm up to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm up to about $2,200, and I'm only bringing in about 1,400 watts. So I do know that the system I got is perfect. If the power goes out during the day or in the evening time, I say if your power goes out, don't run everything. Just run the necessities, because that'll lead you along. If the power goes out, don't run your 65 or your 72-inch screen TV. Watch your TV on your phone. You know, I mean, until your power gets on. I have 2 12-volt batteries over there. That one's for the boat. One is an extra deep cycle battery. I could plug that 12-volt battery in, and I could charge the phones countless times. I could power stuff with that little 12-volt battery, the 48-volt battery over there, the battery packs that do 110 amps each. So I have tons of lithium ion. Normally I charge all my batteries, all my backups with the sun is normally what I do. What I have to start doing in my day now is, since times change, it gets dark lighter. That solar panel goes on about 7 in the morning is when all my solar panels go on. I have my fish tanks go on at nighttime. So in theory, I should now plug the fish tanks into the solar inverter so they go on at 7 a.m. and they shut off about 4 o'clock. Therefore, they were powered solely by the sun. Now, the solar inverters and to change from 48 to a 110 volt, it does use power also. So that's why you need to, if you got 400 watt panels hooked up to an all-in-one inverter, 300 watts is going straight to that inverter. You only got an extra 100 watt. So that's why you have to expand your panels and go parallel so you could generate more electricity. That's about all my knowledge I got for now. Sorry for talking your ear off, but I'm going to go on about this. My main thing here is try to cut your energy bill by simple stuff you see in the house. Your kids sleep with their light on, they sleep with their TV on, you sleep with your TV on, you sleep with your lights on. The little LED night lights, they don't use a lot. You know, I say it's redundant. I got a clock on my stove and a clock on my microwave right above it. You know, I got, you know, 5 or 6 Alexas on. I got you know, my fish tank's running constantly. I know that's constant electricity. Another constant electricity, but I know I got it, is my TV's hooked up to Alexa. So it kind of goes in sleep mode, but I can tell Alexa to turn my TV on. Alexa turn my TV on. I could not be in the room. Alexa turn my TV off. Alexa turn my TV off. My kitchen is on Alexa, so my phone, if we're out, or I could just tell Alexa to shut my front room light off, so my dining room light off, and it'll shut them on and off for me. So that is cool. But I am going to get more smart switches. Therefore, everything that's plugged in, Alexa will tell you how much kilowatt hours electricity is using. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you learned something. Talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share.